Morning, folks.
Hello. I have one little piece of hair. Can you guys see it? It's like it won't
Got a whole
cooperate.
bunch of hair.
I know I got a whole bunch of hair, but I have one.
I just created a professional wix site for my business.
I just created a professional wix site for my business. What ad did you guys get?
That's weird. I don't think we ever talked super positively about Wix.
That's okay. Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning, everyone from Soggy, Indiana. It is
soggy here too. It's a swamp here.
Soggy, Ohio. But they're our neighbors, so it's cool. So we're going to do something a little bit different for our pre-stream party, but I have some announcements for you guys, and I'm going to end up repeating these announcements a few times.
I'm just going to lean.
Okay. I'm going to end up repeating these announcements a few times to make sure that nobody misses it. So I know that a lot of you have been asking me about Renee's Ultimate Architect course. I get emails for it all year long of people asking when it will be open. And basically that course teaches you how to create your own website, which is really great to use alongside Etsy. Now, I can't tell you a whole lot in terms of what's going on, but I was able to get some really awesome information from Renee. So if that is something that you have been waiting on, if you've been waiting for this, then I cannot stress enough, you need to go down and make sure that you are signed up with our Sugar Rush Alpha link. If you click see more directly below the video, there is a little lollipop emoji and it says get free business candy from Renee Christine. You're going to get a bunch of different freebies and goodies. But if you do not sign up for the Sugar Rush, you will not get this architect thingy that is, So just make sure that you sign up if that is interesting to you. And the reason that we're only doing it for Sugar Rush Alphas is because Handmade Alpha Academy opens in June, which is also a big, huge, crazy thing. So Ultimate Architect, build your own website. Handmade Alpha Academy, strictly Etsy. That's the differences there. So what I wanted to do today, since we are very, very close to the opening of Handmade Alpha Academy, which I believe is on the 14th. Does anybody have my free marketing calendars? Those are linked down below. Can somebody check the exact date on those if you have my marketing calendars? Because I put the launch date on there so you guys would be able to keep up with it. But I wanted to show you guys, we have so many successful students in Handmade Alpha Academy, and a lot of them who enrolled in December have just kind of, they've just really like gotten their shops finished and they're ready to showcase them. So I thought it would be fun, maybe for the next few weeks, to actually show you guys some of the shops of our HA students, just so you can kind of get a feel for what we're doing. So sorry, HA students, we had like just way too many people request to be, featured today, but I could only pick a few. So we might do a few more later. Let me go ahead and let's see, what window do we want? We want the...
You'll have to do it individually for every window if you don't do entire screen.
We'll do... No, it'll be this window. Okay. So I want to show you guys a couple of the shops. First...
Okay, cool. Yeah, it is showing.
Yeah, I'll scrunch this over a little bit. First of all, Jamie, oh my God, Jamie. Jamie has been kicking so much butt. She just opened her shop and rebranded. So don't, be afraid by this, open since 2016. Like, she has been kicking butt since joining HAA.
Adjusting this so I can still see the comments.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
And I wanted to show you guys just a little scroll through. Her branding is absolutely phenomenal. We've had packages come from her for our unboxing videos. Her packaging is amazing. And one thing that you guys should note, look at Jamie's pricing. Look at the premium pricing, $1,250. That is absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud of her because she put so much work into her product. So congrats, Jamie. She just released her Morning Dew collection. So I wanted to give her a quick shout out. Next alpha I want to show you guys is Connie. Connie is a newer alpha, but she has done some amazing things with her brand image. She's going with this very clean farmhouse type theme, and I absolutely love it. It reminds me of something that you would expect to see in Target. So watching her shop really unfold and how everything has come together over the last few months has been absolutely amazing. So she is one of our really awesome alphas who's just been kicking butt like crazy. Next one that I wanted to show you, Jenny with Counting Sheep Bedding. Another amazing shop with amazing branding. I love her banner. It was like one of the first things that I noticed. And she has some really, really great photos of her products too. So Jenny is doing a awesome job. Next one, Hopping Trails with Leanne. Another amazing just example of how you can use these light backgrounds and really make your shop pop. I really love how she takes her photos and stages everything. So, and she has a really cool brand message too. She does actual organic, I think that she uses actual product from her bunny rabbits. I think is it rabbit, like it's rabbit like manure technically. Is that what it is? Leanne, you'll have to let me know. But love your product, love your shop, and I love that you're on Etsy because it's a fresh relief, you know, from normal jewelry and things to see something different. Daisy and Crumble, another shop that I have been eyeballing with Tanya. She has an amazing banner. Like just it's so simple and it's so clean. And the resolution is great. Like a lot of times you see these shops with these big cover images and they're just kind of pixelated because they're so large, but her scaling is absolutely perfect. And I love how her branding colors almost translate over into her products. So this is another shop that just released a collection. So thank you to all of the ladies who let me go ahead and stop screen sharing. There we go. Who we featured today. They have done an amazing job in their time in HAA.
Focus.
There
we go.
Focus. All right. So guys, those are just a few of our students. If you are interested in making your shop not just look phenomenal, but be able to market phenomenally using psychology, which is the topic of today, HAA is definitely a really awesome option for you. We will be opening in June with a 10-day enrollment period, and there will be a 6-month payment plan available. So if you guys are on my email list or Handmade Alpha Academy waiting list is down below, that does not obligate you to buy, but it does mean that you will get all of the information before anyone else. So feel free to sign up for that waiting list down below if it's something that you've been eyeballing and you're interested in it, and we'll be discussing pricing and everything then, because there's going to, of course, be that really, really big discount that we only offer to community members, which we have been doing our past 2 launches. This is only our 3rd opening of Handmade Alpha Academy. So
Amy asked if we got her package.
I will have to check, guys. I've been getting emails out the wazoo from people asking if we got your packages, and typically we can't like sit and go through all the packages and then email every single person to make, like, you know, but I'll check and make sure. Just know that usually we almost always get them. We've never had an instance of a package going missing. And if it's on this pile back here, then we got it. So we've had a lot of people ask. I'll go through all the names and stuff later and double check though. But just, you know, if you guys are interested in sending a package for our unboxing, all of the information is down below. And we do not have like a deadline for those. It's just we perpetually release the videos in as long as we have enough packages to do so. So if you don't make it on this video, you'll make it on the next. All right, guys, is that all of, I have to ask you guys a question. Would you guys rather not have a Q&A next week, or would you rather have Q&A at a later time? Because Renee Christine, tying into the candy goodies down below, the Sugar Rush Alpha link, if you sign up for that, you'll know what this is. But she's doing something on Friday at the time that we normally do Q&A. So let me know, would you rather have an afternoon Q&A, do it a little bit later in the day after Renee is done with her thing at noon, or would you rather take a week off? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, guys, we're going to be talking about marketing mastery, and we're going to be talking about some psychology. And a lot of these are really basic tips. I'm not going to be teaching you anything step-by-step today because I really want to get the concepts down before I mention anything step-by-step. What I'm teaching you today is how to broaden your perspectives a little bit and increase your self-awareness so that you're able to market to your fullest potential with those buyers in the way that they think in the back of your head. head. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. If you know anything about the 25 cognitive biases, this is going to be we're going to very, very just so briefly brush the surface. So if there's any like psychology gurus out there, I apologize. You're going to hate me by how little I'm going to be discussing with the 25 cognitive biases. I'm actually going to only be discussing 3, but I think that the 3 that we will be discussing today are just the main ones that when it comes to marketing, they're the main ones that you should primarily focus on. Once again, I do have notes today, not because I need to read them, but because I'll forget what order I want to cover everything with you guys. So what are they saying in the comments?
Some people said that we could do it later, but quite a few people said that you deserve a break and just to take a day off.
You guys are silly. I'll think on it, okay? I will think about what I want to do. And if you guys don't receive an email and you don't see a post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, link down below, feel free to join, then obviously that means that we decided not to. I usually post in there too if we decide that we're not going to do a Q&A, but yeah, because I want to make sure that I attend Renee's mystery thing that I'm not allowed to mention. So let's talk about marketing mastery. When it comes to psychology and marketing, there are 2 major, like, crucial elements that I think most people neglect, it's not necessarily that they neglect them, but they don't have enough self-awareness to realize how much these 2 things contribute to actually making those sales. And the very first thing is confidence. And this is basically because nobody wants to believe you. Nobody's going to believe in you. Nobody's going to believe a word you say if you do not act like you believe in yourself. That would be like if you go to a car dealership and the salesman's like, yeah, this Honda, yeah, it's, like, you get a bad vibe and you don't trust them. And this doesn't just tie in to actual, making sales and marketing. This ties in to how you speak online and your brand presence. And I think one of the main things that I see a lot of people doing is when they advertise, they talk so robotically. They talk like they're trying to, write a tiny, like a marketing pitch in a magazine where it's just so bland. And you guys, you got to add a little bit of expressiveness and show off some of your personality. People have to be able to like you. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. But basically, bottom line, you have to be confident, because if you're not confident in yourself, people don't want to follow you. People want to follow people that they believe in. When it comes to product, if you don't speak with confidence and passion about your product and talk about it like it is just the greatest thing in the world, if you don't believe in it, why is someone else going to buy it and believe in it? So your product has to be the holy grail when it comes to your business. And
especially in today's day and age with the internet, how every one of the power faces on the internet is just super confident all the time in your face.
And there's so many cynics, guys. Like, you would not believe how many cynics there are out there. And I didn't realize how cynical people could be until I created, like, Handmade.
That's kind of our culture anymore.
Right.
Everybody's kind of cynical.
Right. Creating Handmade Alpha Academy. Like I explicitly say, like, if you guys can't afford this, if it's not for you, take advantage of free education, get a library card, do whatever you can. Just don't stop learning. I just happen to make a program that people could optionally sign up for if they wanted to. But for some reason, people take major offense to anything that they have to pay for. If there's a price tag attached, people take offense. So you have to be able to have that confidence in your product and know that it is the best of the best. Even if you sell something as silly as, necklaces, it's something as small as coasters. You have to be so passionate about the product and the solution that you're offering that nobody could question your integrity or the product itself, right?
Yeah. Why do you have the right to charge that kind of price for that product? You aren't X company that I'm used to buying from, Walmart, Target, Hallmark, all the other companies that you buy your everyday things from. They don't see how you could be any bit as good as what they already shop from.
Right. So crucial element number 1 was confidence. Crucial element number 2 plays into confidence, which is awareness. So I have a little question for you guys. I want you to type in the chat and let me know, why do people buy? What makes them buy from you? We'll say that you just made a sale this morning. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you made a bunch, but we'll say that you made a sale this morning. why does someone buy? What is the reason that someone buys a product? Or we'll say that why did they choose your product over someone else's? Go ahead and type your answers into the comments and we will read those off.
If someone came to Starla and Mark and said crap to them about HA, they would eat them alive. You know, you'd be kind of surprised. Sometimes we just ignore it. Every once in a while, we'll get one that's kind of a personal attack, and she'll sit in her chair and write for 6.5 hours before she sends the email.
I need to stop that.
She tears people apart sometimes, but only when they get personal.
I don't tear them apart. What I do is I ask them
in a polite way.
Right.
She doesn't attack them in any way, shape, or form, but she
makes
them question their reality. That's for sure.
We're one of the only paid courses I've ever seen that openly donates to a charity that I personally find near and dear. I know a lot of people don't really care too much about like conservation and things, but I think the conservation of America's wild wolf population is very important, and we've donated.
Very important. My kid will be alive when wolves don't exist anymore.
Right. Red wolves are they are basically red wolves are diminishing in population so much. And there is a very specific area where red wolves are allowed to flourish untouched.
Basically a sanctuary.
But right now, it's not a sanctuary. It's just designated area. But
I know, that's what I'm saying.
There's only
an off-limits area usually.
Yeah, and there's only 34 red wolves left in this area, and that's it. That's all that's left in the wild. And if any of those 34 red wolves were to wander out of this little perimeter that they're allowed to walk in, this particular, area of wilderness, free game,
and people shoot them like almost immediately.
Yeah, because it's the novelty of killing one of the last ones. So that to me is absolutely insane. So we openly support the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York.
Garbage human beings, man. Yeah. God, it aggravates
me. But that's besides the point. Yeah. When people decide to threaten my integrity of HAA, I ask them what great empires are built in poverty. I'm here to change the world. That's what I'm here to do. Yeah. I'm here to help people. And if you have any, disbelief in what I'm able to do, and my students don't stand as their own testimonials for how hard they've worked and what they've built, if that's not enough for you, that's perfectly fine. But keep my family out of it.
Yeah, don't get personal.
Don't get personal ever. Don't get personal when you leave a product review. Don't go after somebody's family. That is the lowest blow. So what does everybody say besides the wolves? What do they say about why do people buy products? Go ahead and scroll up and read us some with usernames so they know who we're.
Let's see. Alicia, I see folks choose my products because they're emotionally drawn to my jewelry.
Perfect. Emotional connection.
Because I talk to them and answer my questions. G. Morgan.
Customer service.
Invoking emotions.
Yes.
Emotion and connection. Good customer service.
Social media presence and trust. Those are all good. Okay, so these are all really good answers. So basically,
Hank Hill would be proud.
Hank Hill would be proud. Man, we're going back and watching all the King of the Hill. So people don't buy to help you. And they don't buy to be nice to you, and they don't buy, right. And they don't buy because they feel bad for you. That might happen once or twice, but they buy because they believe in you. They believe in the product that you're selling, and they believe in the message that you're trying to promote. Similar to, we'll say, what's a good brand to use as an example? For example, Nike. Nike had a lot of, political kind of backlash.
Still do. But there's so many people that rally behind the emotion, and whether or not you agree with them, we're not going to discuss that. But when it comes to their followers, their loyal followers, it doesn't matter what they do. They have a raving following that will love them no matter what. And that's what you have to build with your shoppers. Starbucks. And Apple.
Yeah, no kidding. So you have to market in a way that really promotes what drives them as opposed to you. So think about your target audience for a minute. Think about your ideal customer. What is important to them? What do they look like? What is it that they are currently into? And what is going to make them stop and take notice? What is going to make them feel that personal interest in your product so that it helps them in some way, so that it boosts their status, so that it makes people see them a certain way? Because that's all, as humans, that's all we really want. For example, I everyone asked me when we decided that we needed to upgrade our car because we had an older Kia Soul, one of the very first Kia Souls. And I decided that I wanted to get a Dodge Challenger. And everybody asked me why I didn't get some type of like economy car, or I could have like went with
An Accord
or something. Why did I choose a Dodge Challenger? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, I've got all these events. I've done 2 public speaking events and I have a bunch booked for this year. More on that later. And I wanted a car that felt alpha. Like I wanted a car that looked like a wolf. Like it's gray. I've got custom plates on it, but I wanted something that really represented like how I felt inside and who I was and what my brand message was. And if I'm going to events with this vehicle, I want it to scream alpha wolf. So we went with the gray Challenger. And that's
even their marketing. It's
right.
just no bullshit attitude the whole way
the marketing
through.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And they don't pretend to be anything that exactly what they are. It's just a raw power car that gets crappy gas mileage and it looks hot.
Right. So, but that's why I chose it ultimately was the feelings that are behind it. And you think that way with everything. Yeah. You look at any major company and you think about the people who are associated with it. When it comes to like a Louis Vuitton handbag, when you think of that, you think of the type of person that's carrying it, about their status, that they make a lot of money, and that all ties into that person and what they want the perception of them to be. So that is what you're selling. You're selling those feelings, and you really have to narrow down what exactly it is that feeling is, what your target audience is, what is their ultimate goal. How do they want to be perceived? And how are you going to get them one step closer to that? Because ultimately that's what everybody wants, unless you're selling some type of very personal product. But even then, nobody knows what type of soap you're using, but somebody might think to themselves, wow, I want to live an organic lifestyle, so I'm going to buy soap. And this all ties into that perception of living that organic lifestyle. So I want to talk about the 3 of the 25 cognitive biases by Charlie Munger. And if you're not familiar, I highly recommend checking them out. These all tie in to basically these are the really weird habits that we have that don't necessarily belong in our current evolution. Basically, we developed a lot of habits through evolution back when we were cavemen that were very useful to us when we were in survival stages. And now they don't necessarily help us very much because we have far surpassed the days when we're running away from predators and we're hunting with spears. We don't do that anymore. So some of these instincts that are just naturally embedded in our minds, we don't necessarily need anymore. And we have to kind of be aware of what they are and how we react to them, and basically not let them dictate our decisions to lead us to make bad decisions. But as marketers, what we can do is find ways to really utilize these, impulsive behaviors, but in a positive way where you're not manipulating somebody. Today, I actually watched a really great podcast it was Steve Jobs' personal business coach. And he said something, the difference between persuasion and manipulation is that persuasion is when you ask someone or you push someone to do something that they already want to do, which would be like making a purchase. You're out for their best interest. Where manipulation, this is the bad one, is where you try to get someone to do what they don't want to do for your personal interest. So what we want to do is persuade people to buy our products, not manipulate them. And this is a really cool way to do it. So this is basically, and why this works is because these biases exist to make sure that we make decisions quickly. Okay. And when I said that this is perfectly fine for cavemen, the reason this works is say that, you're out in the woods and you're hunting and you got your little loincloth and your little spear and a bear pops up behind you. Okay. You need to make a decision real quick to save your butt. You need to get out of there. So your brain is going to kick in and you're either going to fight or flight and get out of there. Right. So that all fits well. However, in current society, it doesn't fit well when, say, you're scrolling through Facebook and you see an ad for something and your immediate reaction is to, say, oh, like this is probably crap. Or that
you just take one look at it and scroll right past it. You've made a decision without even taking the time.
Right. So, and sometimes we even get like where we were talking about people getting, getting almost offended by our marketing and getting mad that we're selling a product. Or maybe you guys have had like a product where people, you know, before they even buy it or test it, they try to like comment and say it's a ripoff or something like that. Or they say, oh, I could make that myself. That is them being uncomfortable. That is them having a fear of the unknown. They are fearful because they are skeptical, because they don't want to believe what you're saying. They're skeptical of it. And skepticism is great. It keeps us from getting in a lot of trouble. It's good to be a little bit skeptical, but it's not good to be cynical. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today are really going to help you to persuade people in a positive way. So the very first bias that I want to talk about is called the reward bias. People are natural pleasure seekers. So anything that equals pleasure, we try to get more of. It's why when you look at somebody that you love, your pupils get bigger. You're trying to get more of them. You're trying to take in more of them. You want to see more of that thing. It's the same for drugs and alcohol. You know, people get that little dopamine rush from drugs and alcohol. And that's how that you end up with really bad addictions. Same with fast food, same with chocolate. These are all really negative things. But there is a way to do it right. Okay. And this is one of my favorites. If anybody's familiar with the Harmon brothers, they have some amazing marketing tactics. I'm really interested in learning more about how they do things, but some of the ads that you might know from them are Purple Mattress, Poopery. What's the other one? Squatty Potty with the pooping unicorn. They have some hilarious ads. So think of it this way. Through marketing, can we make someone smile? That's going to automatically build a positive association, give them a little dopamine rush, and they are going to smile. And therefore, you've kind of convinced them, you've kind of persuaded them, you've given them a good feeling about you, and you've imprinted them with this really positive feeling that even if they don't buy from you today, 6 months down the line, they might remember you as that company that has the funny ads, just like Purple Mattress did with Tim and Eric.
Yep.
You know, they
know what's up. They know Tim and Eric are the best comedy writers of our generation.
So the reward bias, think about how you can make people feel really good. You are reinforcing that they are making a good decision and you are giving them that little dopamine rush. How can you do that through advertising? I didn't write this down, but another way that
Nate.
Hi, Nate. Nate, you should watch the chat for us. So
it's clean. I've been checking it out.
You guys have behaved today. That's fantastic. So another thing that I would like to play into this reward bias, and once again, I didn't write this down, but it's something I personally do. People are natural puzzle solvers. If we are presented with a puzzle or something that we need to solve, we automatically want to do it, and we get a dopamine rush from solving that puzzle. It's a natural reaction. When we figure something out, we get excited about it. This is how casinos really exploit like our puzzle solving skills. And then we are rewarded with, you know, the little bit of money and the flashing lights. All of these things kind of play in. What I like to do is create ads that make people laugh, but it also takes them a minute to figure it out. So for example, I created an ad last year when we opened HAA that just had me. I think I was like, I had a wolf beside me, obviously, and I was going, and it just said, insert witty marketing pitch here. And that was the ad. And I published that ad because I knew people would say, what the heck is this? And they'd stop and they'd read it and they'd try to figure it out. And then once they figured out that the reason that it said insert witty marketing pitch here was because it was a course about sales and marketing, you know, I got a lot of positive responses from that. So creating a puzzle or creating an ad that, you know, asks a question, you know, it makes them say, what is this? But then explaining it in the caption and having your call to action, those are very, very useful things that you can do.
Vondi said, I understand the concept of connection with the consumer's emotions, but I stink at implementing it. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right. You have to do this through practice.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time for you to figure out what exactly you're going to need to do to nail your product into somebody's brain.
Right. Exactly. So I want to go over Charlie Munger's cognitive bias. Number 2, this isn't actually the order of them. This is just how I've ordered them. This is the second one that I thought was important, which is the availability bias. Now, this is something that as Etsy sellers, we really need to take note of. If something is too confusing to understand, we naturally decide not to buy it, because that risk reward system starts kind of like going on overdrive. And we think, oh, risk, I might not like it. There's too many choices. I can't pick just one. I'm not going to pick anything.
Right. And unless somebody's incredibly passionate, that's the end of it.
Right. So for example, let's see. I have been looking at a brand for a long time that makes really cool necklaces. I actually did order one for his grandma for Christmas, but I haven't been able to pick one for myself. And they run huge 50% off sales. The brand is called Secret Wood. I'm very unhappy with their customer service and processing time. It took over 6 months to get my order.
Yeah, something that was supposed to be in for Christmas took until last month.
But they're beautiful, so I still recommend them product-wise. But I've been waiting for a long time to get one for myself. I really like their products. They've got a lot of really cool designs, but every time I go to their website to buy, I look at all of the designs, I can't make a choice, and I still haven't bought because I could not decide which one I wanted. And I just, opted out of making a decision altogether. Now think about this. When you guys have hundreds and hundreds of products in your Etsy shop, this is exactly what you're doing to buyers. So though, like last Q&A last week, I told you having a large variety of products, having a lot of listings is great for SEO. Fantastic for SEO. You're going to get way more visibility. But once that shopper lands on your actual storefront and they see all those products, by having hundreds and hundreds, even thousands, what you're ultimately doing is confusing the heck out of them and making it really hard for them to make their final decision on what to buy. So it's good to kind of be right in the middle where you have a decent variety, but you don't have so much that it's overwhelming. Same goes with variations. Now, for example, I have a lot of variations, but my variations all tie into birthstones. So usually if somebody's going to my shop, they look for the month that they want, they pick that, and they don't even pay attention to the others. But if you create blankets and you have 62 different color options for blankets, people are probably not going to be able to figure out which one they feel will be best. Which one is going to match my curtains? Oh, will this blue match or will this blue match? I don't know. I'll shop somewhere else. So having choices is good, but having too many choices is not. Another really great example of this, if you guys want to read a really great book, if you guys want to support the wolf conservation of South Salem, New York, you can actually buy it in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community with our affiliate link. But The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz basically explains why too many choices are bad, because they actually create a cap on how happy we can be. So I highly recommend that book if you are, more into learning about this availability bias.
And not to mention, and once you have so many products, you also kind of get the Chinese reseller fear. When you look at somebody's shop and they have like 200 plus items, you start thinking, is this person just a Chinese reseller?
Right. Is this a handmade shop?
Right. When you go to Etsy, that's what you're there for. You're there for handmade stuff. If you shop for handmade reprint, or not handmade reprint, but Chinese reprint stuff, fine. But that's not what it exists.
Right. Last bias, I'm calling it the liking bias. It's not called the liking bias, but it has a longer name that you guys could probably look up. I can't remember what it is offhand. But basically, we want to believe in people that we like. If you like somebody, you want to believe in them. That's how politics work, right? If you like somebody already, you're going to agree with everything they say, no matter what. And as a brand, that's very powerful. Where even if you don't necessarily agree with what somebody says, just because they said it, you're okay with it. You kind of let it slide. This is huge for brands, especially if you will say market in like a controversial topic, but it also ties into that confidence. So you have to be confident in your marketing. Don't take yourself too seriously, and make sure that you're not talking like a robot. You have to give people a reason to like you. And the best way to do this is to show your true and authentic self when marketing. Give little tastes of your own life, give a little touch of what your studio does or looks like. Give a little touch of, maybe how you spend your weekends, and you can still tie all of this into your products in some way. You can still make sure that everything remains relevant, but there's always ways to incorporate little elements that people can grip onto, because they want to see themselves in you, right? That's how they're going to trust you. They want to know that you are, in the same target. You're appealing to your target audience, but you also have to reflect what they want to feel. Yep. This is, for example, wouldn't it be really weird if we'll say a 58-year-old man designed like little girl sundresses? You know, if a mom found that out, she might be less likely to buy, not because of anything weird, but just because
Assumptions.
how's this 58-year-old man going to relate to what a little girl's fashion, you know? So that is why you should try to not let it take over your whole timeline, because I've seen this happen too, where brands will just talk way too much about themselves. They'll just go on and on about themselves and their life and their personal troubles and blah, 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 blah. And it's not good.
Don't talk about your personal life unless it's a positive thing. Never talk about your personal life.
Right. It's okay to be vulnerable. In fact, being vulnerable actually builds trust. I'm vulnerable with you guys. I talk about my own challenges, my own mistakes. Occasionally, if I'm having a bad day.
I meant just more like relationships, issues with friends. That aggravates the crap out of me when people talk about their personal lives. Don't talk about your personal lives.
Absolutely.
Unless it's positive. I got married, or my kid had a baby, whatever.
Yeah, be confident and be real, but don't put out energy that you don't want reflected back at you. Everything 100%. That you're shining outward, expect that to be what reflects back. So if you're shining constant happiness out, happiness is going to shine back. If you, shine out confidence towards people are going to feel more confident. So that is kind of the summary of 3 of the 25 cognitive biases, but I highly recommend checking them out. You can just Google 25 cognitive biases by Charlie Munger. Actually, you could probably just do 25 cognitive biases if you want to read more about them. There's a lot of great YouTube videos that cover them. The reason that I decided to cover them today is I was going through some of my older notes from when I was actually in Tai Lopez's training course. I did that for a little while when I first got into business. For those who don't know, I did train under Tai Lopez before he was really stuck up and didn't give good information. Man, like right after the Here in My Garage video came out. Knowledge. I signed up for one of his courses, and I got to talk to him once. I asked him an Etsy question. He gave me some really good advice, and I've been following it to this day. I asked him, I said, I am doing really well on Etsy. Should I leave Etsy to sell somewhere else? Do you feel like me being on Etsy is going to hinder my growth? And he said, stay where the grass is green. So I've stayed where the grass is green, and I think I'm doing all right. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to start putting them in the comments, and we did have a couple. Yes. Aravandi asked, is having 90 to 100 different designs in a shop too much? And then there was also somebody earlier that said, I stick to 20 at a time and change every month. It's hard to tell. It depends on the product. Yeah, really. It depends on what you do. If you're a print shop, probably okay for you to have 90 to 100 designs in your shop because there's more stuff to buy. Right. If you create something that takes a lot of time and you want people to know that it takes a lot of time. For example, when we showed you guys Jamie's shop, let me go ahead and pop that into the comments real quick. That rule is generally more important with physical products. Having too many physical products, charms, bracelets, necklaces, actual already printed t-shirts and jackets and hoodies and that kind of stuff. Having too much of that kind of thing can be a little overwhelming. So I just put Jamie's shop in the comments, guys. She doesn't have a lot of sales yet because she is new, but look at her prices and do some calculations in your head and think about how much money she has made just from those few sales. And she's able to charge those premium prices because people see very few products at very high prices, and they know that Jamie herself has sat and hand created all of those products and put all of that time into them. So she can't have thousands of products, but you still love her work, you love the design, and you can understand the high price point because she has so few products. It's almost like they're a rarity. I'm reading. These are long. Oh, okay. Might take me a minute. That's fine. When we had a cafe, we started offering a build your own omelet. No one ordered omelets. We redid the menu to have 3 omelet choices with names. We became well known for our delicious omelets. There you go. I never do the build your own stuff at restaurants for like build your own pizza. I never do that unless that restaurant is specifically for that, like Rapid Fire Pizza or Subway or Chipotle. But but that's exactly what they're for. Yeah. It's not just it's not just a random thing on the menu. Yeah, I never do the build your own.
or complaining about everything you can. I see so many people do that on social medias. Yeah, if you're going to complain, keep it to your personal Facebook. Keep it out of your business.
And this ties into one more thing that I kind of wanted to talk about. I call it pity marketing, where people will hop on their business page. They'll pop on their timeline or whatever, and they will post something like, "Oh, I need gas money, guys. I need to make a sale today."
I lose like 90% of my respect for you the second you do that.
I need to make a sale today, guys. So buy now and I'll give you free shipping. Buy now and I'll give you an extra item.
Sales. Those pity sales are not return customers. Those are people that feel bad to you and they're going to shop the one time and they're going to leave.
Well,
shop in general.
Not only that, but remember when I said that what you are shining out is what will reflect back. If you are saying pity me at them, they're going to think that you are just self-centered. You're not supposed to be doing this for you. You're doing it to serve them. What message are you sending to them when you're constantly saying my problems, solve my problems? I'm a shop owner and I need my problems solved. And then you ask them to solve them for you. That's not how it works. You're there to solve their problems. You're there to serve them.
Yeah, even if your goal is to make money, that's not the purpose of your shop. It shouldn't be the purpose in their eyes, at the very least.
It shouldn't be it shouldn't be your number one thing. If your number one thing is money, then you shouldn't be in business. You should be working in a corporate company, because this isn't about money. This is about serving people. This is about bringing value to the world and the people's lives who you're basically enriching through your handmade product. So if you're just here for the money and you're not here to actually service the people who you care about or who you say you care about, then you shouldn't be in this industry. Ran over. Let's move on.
About sharing. Some brands I've noted use their vulnerability to connect to their audience, e.g. Paula Haas is featured by you, shares her story of sobriety, how to know what is too much.
I think it really depends on your level of being able to execute it. One of my favorite business coaches, his name is Kerwin. He has a great channel. He talks about how being an addict is actually what helped him to become a business coach. He was addicted to all kinds of crap. He was addicted to drugs and alcohol and cocaine. And he openly talks about it at huge like keynotes and his own live seminars where thousands of people go, but he talks about it because he ties it in. If you can,
also people love recovery,
right?
Stories.
Well, if you can find a way to tie it in and make it relevant to the brand, that is what is essential. So what he does is he says, I am so thankful that I was an addict because I have addictive tendencies, and now I am addicted to this. So he was able to find a way to turn addiction into a way that would make people feel like that addiction to service. Now that he has found a new way to pivot, now that he has recovered from drugs and alcohol, he's addicted to another cause that's going to benefit them. Who are you going to sign up with? A coach who says, oh, I really like helping people, or the coach who's like, oh, I'm addicted to helping people? That's the guy that you're going to trust, because you see that level of confidence where they're so willing to share their story without fear. It's hard not to follow them. That's the type of coach you want. Somebody who is able to just stand and basically say everything that you believe and put it into words, you know? So I love him. But that is, you know, the number one thing is you have to be able to tie it back in. So if you sell little girls' clothing, maybe don't mention if you used to be like a heroin addict. Probably not a good way to tie it in. But if you sell little girls' clothing, you know, and maybe your baby had to go through some really like crazy medical treatments, that might be something that you could mention about your guys' journey and how, you know, everything that you do is to ensure a great life for your children. Like that would be how you could tie it in. So.
Is Renee going to make another MailChimp video? We don't know.
Oh, I don't know. We're not Renee.
We don't work with Renee. She partners with us every once in a while, but she's her own business.
Yeah, we are not associated with Renee. We are just
her.
Renee is probably my best friend in the whole like business world. Love Renee to death. But I don't keep up with what she's doing. She doesn't even give me that much, guys. I'm not even allowed to tell you everything that's going on. If you guys sign up down below, there is a lollipop emoji. It says get free business candy from Renee Christine. That is the only way that you're going to get access to enrollment for one of her courses that will be opening soon. I can't say a whole lot because I'm not allowed, but I highly recommend signing up for that because you also get freebies and some invites to some cool stuff. So make sure that you're on that list.
I don't know if you've ever looked at my shop, but do you think it's hindering me if I put my jewelry in my shop along with the coasters, or should I just stick to the coasters?
Yeah, I've looked at your shop. She did our coasters and the pendants.
Yeah.
I think that the cohesive factor there is the style that you do things, because obviously, you know, your actual patterns and the way that you create your products. There's one of Wendy's coasters. The way that you create your products is exactly the same, but it's not really something that I can answer for you. It's one of those things where if it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. So you have to look at what's selling in your shop. Are these selling, or are the pendants selling? And then you have to ask yourself, you know, what do I want to be known for? So do you want to be known for coasters? Do you want to be known for jewelry? Or do you want to be known for the artwork factor? So those are the questions that I would definitely be asking yourself, and decide ultimately if it's worth having both in there, or if it's just something that you like. You could include the necklaces as a bonus item, you know, if you needed to.
I have a question. What's the best way to do marketing for digital products like design posters and SVG files and stuff?
I recommend making sure that you're using good mock-ups, and make sure that you're actually, depending on what they are, make sure that you're catering to their needs. A really great example of this is Mystic Magnolia. She is Celeste. I'm probably butchering your name. Mystic Magnolia on Etsy. She creates really great planners and organizational files, and she homeschools her children, and she really pushes like homeschooling through her products, and teaches moms how they can be, you know, more efficient through homeschooling with some of her products. So the way that she advertises is through her own experiences, and she does that by showing, you know, how she uses her own products. So that might be something to consider, just depending on what you sell.
I create custom costumes for performers. I have different stone count packages on them. For example, Bling has 300 stones and Sparkle has 600. Is this confusing, and is there a better way?
Depends.
And
Is it working?
Makes sense to me.
It makes sense.
As long as you're being very clear in your advertising and in your product photos and descriptions.
Yeah, just make sure that you just keep in mind, nobody reads anything. So make sure that everything that you want them to know is in the photo. So have one photo with what the 300 looks like and the name, and then the one with the 600 and the name, and just make sure that they're understanding what they're seeing, because most people are not going to read your product description. They're only going to scroll through your photos. I see Dana. Hi, Dana.
Okay.
I want Dana to be on our channel.
If your idea is to appeal to your customers' desire for Instagram-worthy looks, would you mention in the description or about that this solves that problem?
Desire for Instagram worthy looks, would you I mean, I think that it would all tie in. I think that it sounds like it ties into the overall message. When it comes to these really specific scenarios, guys, I can't really like mind read your customers. I'm not like I can't read the minds of everybody's individual target markets, especially the ones that I'm not a part of, but always talk about your brand message. I think that would be a great thing to tie in. I'm not going to, you know, necessarily say that it will or will not make a difference, but it would be something that I would experiment with. So I would try it. There's no harm in it if that's what you're asking.
Do you offer a customer service course? I'm finding that there are many sellers via forums and Amazon, Facebook, etc. who do not know how to properly handle communication with their customers after the sale. Yeah,
Doug, we actually have an entire lesson in Handmade Alpha Academy. When that opens in June, I'll have a little bit more info, but the waiting list is down below. If you look for the actual, I think it says mark your calendar with a little graduation cap beside it. You can get on the waiting list for that. But we do talk about the messages that you should be sending after a customer makes a purchase. And these kind of go off of my swipe file, my SSAR swipe file series. We do have an updated version of those coming, guys. I know that we've been really slow, but we had to update Handmade Alpha Academy because of the new E-Rank rebrand. We had a lot of updating that we have to do before it opens in June. So that will be coming.
Other things that had to be updated too.
But I don't have a course specifically for customer service, but we go very in depth for customer service within Handmade Alpha Academy.
That was
even farther than the free SSAR swipe files. That was the point I was trying to make.
See, I'm realizing that there's more to SEO than just keywords. Will there be a future video going deeper information on how to alter your SEO and how it works? So guiding E-Rank Pro, but more in depth.
Well, I mean, Amy, I do try to keep like because I do have a very very secret formula for SEO, but you guys got to consider that stays in HAA. I can't disservice my customers, my students, those who have invested literally hours and hours and hours of their lives into Handmade Alpha Academy. It would be a major disservice to them to just go and publish all of that information. Not to mention, if the whole wide world knew about this secret formula I have, everyone would be able to use it. So though we will be doing some more in-depth SEO videos, I can't necessarily say I'm going to sit and teach you exactly how to step-by-step do SEO, because I keep that information in HAA for that reason. Because I need to be, the thing about publishing things like that out publicly to the world is it gets misinterpreted. And if you don't have every single little piece of the puzzle and you're not able to look at it from that broad perspective where you've literally taken the entire course step by step and then you reach that point, all it's going to do is confuse you. When it comes to HAA, all of the pieces are puzzle pieces that fit together. And when you take a step back, you see the complete picture. So if you're only zoomed in on one little puzzle piece, you're most likely not going to be able to see what that picture is. And it's going to do more harm than good. So,
well, we had one more question, but it got retracted.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong with you?
Kelly, total, aha, it's not working right now, but I don't have the individual pics. Let's see. I see Starla and Mark. I don't see any fluffernutters. There's actually more dogs here today than there usually are.
Yeah, we're taking care of her mom's dogs this week.
Yeah, my mom's chihuahuas are also here, so they're hanging out. Last week is a great one to look at for SEO. Yes, if you need SEO help, be sure to watch last week's video, but also join the eRank group. The link to that is in last week's video. Nate, if you're still here, you can post the link to the eRank group if you want in the chat. But if you need SEO help, that is a great resource too. Keep in mind that group is run by Anthony Wolf. He's in there all the time.
Yeah.
And he does weekly Q&A sessions.
His butt off, y'all.
We know that from experience now that we have been working with him. He is a hardworking guy. He is literally working 24/7. I think that it's his favorite thing to do.
Okay, she reposted her question. I think she just reworded it.
Okay.
Regarding decisions, I thought I would 10 up my products by offering custom colors or custom color options where most of my competition do not. I offer 2 styles, 6 primary colors, and 12 secondary colors. Too much.
No, that sounds okay.
Sounds fine. As long as it feels cohesive. Like if you were to have a friend sit down and go through a listing and not get confused, you're probably all right.
Right. Yeah, you just don't want to have too much. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to have 100 different options. 10 different options is fine. Depending on what your product is, you could even probably get away with more than, 10 to 20 options, but it really it's very subjective. It depends on the product and it depends on how quickly it's someone's going to be able to make their purchasing decision. You want someone to make a decision to purchase quickly. You don't want them to sit and have to ponder about it for a long time and read to try to figure it out. If it's too confusing, they won't buy. And if they have to spend a lot of time on it, they might just ditch the idea entirely and go find, a listing that's easier for them to understand quickly. So just make sure that everything is very quick for them to understand, because nobody wants to take the extra effort into finding answers. Unfortunately, like I said, people really hate to read.
Magically eclectic.
Thank you, Nate.
Any thoughts or advice on eclecticism as a lifestyle?
I think that absolutely. That's actually primarily my target audience. I believe I've kind of talked about this with you guys, but my audience is primarily pagan. I myself am not pagan. And when I started selling on Etsy and I acquired this huge pagan following, I had to actually learn about my own target audience just so I could better serve them, so that I could make sure that I was doing what they wanted.
To kind of embrace their community a little bit.
I did. And I am so well read on the pagan community. Like, I answer questions. We know
what they do and don't like. They know what you can and can't say, that kind of stuff.
Right. I know how to market in a way that really appeals to that community. And I love it. I absolutely love it, because they're just
so nice.
They're so nice. They're the sweetest people to cater to. So that eclectic side, I think, right now, if there was ever a time to get into eclectic themes, right now is the time, because it is embraced more now than I think it ever has been. And like I said, I know that just because I have such a naturalist community around my products. Even though my products are just fantasy themed, it's just kind of the market that's really embraced it. So definitely try and make sure that everything that you do aligns with their values.
Jane, I donate money off every sale to Children's Heart Charity for children born with half a heart. My son has half a heart. I message them after sale to say thanks and explain the reason behind my business.
That's great.
Don't feel bad. Like if anyone else out there has a business, don't feel like you're pushing out a sob story. Obviously, don't word it like a sob story.
Make it positive.
Make it a positive thing. Like, this is why I'm passionate about my product. And I donate to X organization. I do this, that, or the other for the community. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, don't tie your product to like how, like an ASPCA commercial.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like the ASPCA,
I don't like their marketing.
Well, they're collecting donations, but she's selling a product.
Yeah, but they still take the negative approach and the sob story
sometimes
approach
you have
instead of like the videos of the rescuers actually going out and like seeing, like, you'll see just a short picture of like an animal with its hair all scruffy, but then you'll see it healthy and happy and playing and eating food, and like that makes people focus more on the marketing, I think. Otherwise, they're just sad. Like, most people just turn the channel when those commercials come on because they get sad so much.
Well, no, what I'm saying is because if you show the solution to them in the commercial, when you show them the solution of the puppy's happy, they already feel they're leaving that commercial with a feeling like, okay, problem solved. That is what you're imprinting in their mind. But if you leave it open-ended and you make them feel obligated to get up, or the puppies that they saw will suffer.
I think it's a matter of perception. I think everybody's going to perceive that.
Right. Because
for me, all it does is make me sad. It doesn't make me want to help. It makes me want to change the channel.
Right. Well, I think
it's a matter of perception. You're probably right, though.
Let's see. Because I just read, I can't remember what book it is that I read about the wording and the marketing of charity. Since you're not selling anything and you're not solving their problems, it's a different type of marketing. And I didn't read it because I'm not like doing any charities, but I was just interested in learning about the psychology behind it all and how you really word things.
Like around Remembrance Day, I usually do a special promotion where a portion of the sales go to Wounded Warriors Canada. As a veteran, it makes perfect sense to do, and my audience love it. Canadians don't fight wars. I'm just kidding. I like to give people crap because I never think that they do, but Canadians are over there kicking ass just as much as everybody else.
Dana, I love you, Dana. Dana's a badass. She is a badass lady. I want to have you on our channel. We should do a not safe for work episode of Friday Q&A late at night with Dana, because Dana's so raunchy. Love Dana.
It's gonna have to be private, unlisted, and unmonetized because I can get pretty nasty. I'll probably still have to hold back a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She does the cross stitch. She does like the raunchy cross stitch. I love her product.
So it isn't a good idea to have a donate section where they know that the profits from the section get donated.
No, that's why
totally fine.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that? I do that with. The Handmade Alphas, we donate, and I mention it.
I was making a specific example. Don't take that to heart.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the one organization. The Canadians go around collecting all the kit Americans drop in the field. Yeah. Number one supplier of maple syrup in the Middle East, that's for sure.
She's gonna come down here.
I worked with Canadians. I actually worked with Canadians pretty frequently when I was in intelligence. So I'm just giving you shit.
She's gonna come down on a moose and cover you in maple syrup and sliced ham that they call bacon.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
And we are gonna come with our red solo cups. And what else is American?
Budweiser.
Our Pabst
Natty
Blue
Light.
Ribbon.
Yeah, PBR. There you go. PBR, tea water,
and our s'mores, and it's just going to be an all-out brawl at the border. It's going to be epic, guys. We're going to record it. It's going to be like pay-per-view. It's going to be crazy. Us and Dana. Okay, we're going to make somebody mad. Diet's in here.
I know. I wanted to throw out some political jokes. I'm trying to hold them back real hard.
Oh, Diet's
Hey, y'all's prime minister's the shit, though. He's
oh god, you guys. All right, guys, do you have any last minute questions while you guys are finishing up? Let me go ahead and shout out everything below. Top secret thing coming from Renee. I can't say what it is. Only Dana and Diet know what it is since they work for Renee, with Renee. Actually, Dana, I don't think you're just kind of helping right now, aren't you? I can't remember if you're still doing that or not. But either way, they're the only ones who know what this thing is. You have to sign up for the Alpha Sugar link down below. There's a little lollipop beside it. And Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening in June. There is a waiting list down below. However, if you get regular emails from me, you will still get an invitation. But if you are on the actual waiting list down below, you will get the invitation first. Not to mention, if you are on that list, it is the only way, or any of my lists, if you get emails from me somewhere, anywhere, it's the only way that you're going to get a discount from me. And it's a big one. If you know what the discount is, from like last enrollment periods, please don't post it.
$3.
It's not $3. It is a lot more than $3. But nobody posted in the comments. Don't spoil the surprise. It's a secret. Don't let anybody know. The beans are going to end up getting spilled someday, and everybody's going to like say, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." They tried to do that last time. They're like, "You don't actually charge a higher price. Everybody gets a discount." I'm like, "Really? Want to bet?"
Really?
Because there's a public page where you can pay like way phenomenally more if you want to, or you can get on the list and get the price.
Because I built the web pages, and there are 2 of them that are exactly the same, except one has a much, much, much lower price than the other one on both plans.
Because we love you guys. Alpha community members should get a discount. That's how it is. You guys are here every Friday. You're on it. Even if you're in the replay, you're on it.
If you want to pay full price, you can pay full price. I will not complain.
Everybody's like, "Oh, no, that's fine, Mark. We love you guys. I'm sure the course is great, but I'm going to use my discount." No, that's what the discount is for, guys. So make sure that you're there. Let's see. Any last minute questions? Questions. On your HAA payment plan with the monthly, can you take half payments twice a month? Like, to divide it.
But that's going to be entirely on you to message me to do that, because I already have a lot of people to keep track of.
Yeah, so that's kind of like that. Basically, everything's systemized. We have it set so that it's like a monthly. It
automatically takes out. There's nothing that you have to do on your side.
Right, but doing it any other way makes it.
I have to do it by hand in our system, and it's kind of complicated.
So we can technically do it if you have to. Just be aware that it might not always be like consistent on the same day at the exact time, because he's not a robot. He's not going to take it out at noon every other Wednesday or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's on a third. I have it set to an exact 30-day cycle.
All right. Nicole, should my branding / marketing for my new product photography course be really different than my current branding and marketing? It depends. Do you want your current, are they tied together somehow? Paula Haas did a great version of that with her brand boss system, tying to clean and dirty. She made them very cohesive. So you can kind of serve as one being an umbrella over the other, or they can be separate. My products, my keys are in no way associated with the Handmade Alphas. I don't even let them overlap at all. In fact, most of my customers, my die-hard customers who buy all of my products out from every launch, most of them have no idea that I'm a coach. They have no idea, not even a slightest clue. So, it just depends on what you want to do and if they go well together. For me, fantasy-themed keys with dragons didn't really go with Handmade Alphas and business course. So there was no way that I could do it well, so I didn't do it at all. So you have to ask yourself that question if you feel that they go together.
That's about it.
Let's see. I mostly do jewelry, but I added hats and bags as accessories that match the look. What do you think of the advantage or advertise?
They just said ADV. I don't know.
Of my shop banners, pics, and is it possible to combine those successfully? It's really hard to say without doing it. There needs to be a cohesive element that tells you what it's about. When somebody goes to your shop, they're going to want to know what is the actual overall theme. Are you a hat shop? Are you a bag shop? Are you an accessory shop? Are you a jewelry shop? I think that their products are varying a lot, but if you could find like one thing that tied it all together, for example, the fact that everything is maybe like very high end, if you had a consistent color, if you had a consistent, there's a million ways that you could do it, but there needs to be something that ties it all together, because you don't want to be a commodity shop either. And I'm not saying that you can't be successful having a hodgepodge of different items in your shop, but what people want to know is that when they visit your shop, they want to know that you specialize in this, that you are the very best at making this. That would be like if, for example, we'll say that, what's a good one? That Smucker's jelly started making ketchup. you're not going to buy Smucker's ketchup. You're going to buy Heinz ketchup. You're not even going to try Smucker's ketchup. That sounds gross, right? It just doesn't sound right. Smucker's is jelly. Heinz is ketchup. You don't mix those. So it really just depends on, what you want to be known for. So if you want all the products in there, you got to find something that kind of is more abstract that you want to be known for, that all the products tie into. Like, maybe it is looking really good, looking high end. You got to find something.
All right. So Ginger asked if HA could be written off. We can't tell you that.
You have to ask
Peacock, careful answer questions like that, because some places yes, some places no.
We found that out with our accountant this year.
Yeah. So don't assume that it's a write-off. Don't plan for it to be something that you get to write off. You might be able to, but we can't tell you.
Yeah, when we talked to our accountant, because we thought the same thing, and we talked to our accountant, and she said that it's going to depend very strictly on where they are. And I think that there are a lot of areas that require a special, what is it? You have to be certified.
You have to be accredited.
And
we are not. And none of the teachers that you see, Renee, Christine, any of these other people, none of them are accredited organizations for education.
Right. We're not, because we're not a school. We are a course. It's very different.
Big difference.
So, but in most cases, I will say that I know that a lot of educational resources can still be written off. But as always, you have to talk to your individual accountant for your area, not somebody online, not on a forum somewhere. You need to go to your accountant for your area, especially if you are, in a different country.
Yep.
If you're
the US, it's pretty cut and dry. You'll probably get away with it.
Right.
But it goes all the way down to the state level. Like your state taxes, it might not apply, and this, that, and the other. And some accountants just might not be comfortable doing it.
Yeah,
So
we were
down to your accountant.
We were able to write off courses in California for our area where we were, for the time. I'm not saying that if you live in California, you can automatically do it, but our accountant let us. In Ohio, our accountant requires that you have to show that the education is accredited in some way.
That's why we use tax advisors. We use H&R.
We use block advisors, which is designed for small.
Because we're not tax professionals. So if our tax advisor tells us something that isn't true, they're the person that gets screwed out of it, not us.
Right.
Always make sure you have a backup there.
HTU is a business training expense for me in the UK. Right.
Cool.
Just like I said, just make sure that you check, guys.
That's enough about taxes.
Right.
We're done with that.
We don't want to get anybody in trouble. We always go back to ask your accountant just to make sure. Double check. They're professionals. They're paid a lot of money to do their jobs. All right.
When you're a gift shop that personalizes gift items, do you have to specialize when there are various gift items?
I think that it really depends on how you want to be perceived. If you are trying to specialize as a gift shop, you have to consider that Etsy's a lot different than just walking into like a gift shop somewhere where there's a commodity. What is your theme? I would say that gift shop is still so broad. I like seeing gift shops that are specialized. For example, I've noticed there are a couple Etsy shops that do all different various gifts. They're a gift shop, but they're specific to a state. So for example, we live in Ohio, and I've seen Etsy shops that only make assorted Ohio themed items. Or I've seen shops that specialize in a dog breed, like Chihuahuas, but all the items tie in to Chihuahuas. So I'm not saying that you can't be successful with a gift shop. What I'm saying is that it's usually good to have one cohesive theme in there that people at least know and recognize you for. So that would be like my one little touch of advice, to make sure that you don't just have like a million different items that have nothing in common. That's where things get a little bit weird, because nobody knows what you want to be known for.
For sure. Especially with gift shops, you're kind of battling the corporate battle there too, because there's a lot of corporate companies that make gift style stuff.
You're in Ohio now? Yes, we're actually from Ohio. We moved to Texas for 6 months when he was in the military, and then we were in California for 6 years, and we could have moved 5 years, and then we could have moved anywhere, but we decided to move back to Ohio because this is home. So
for now, at least.
For now, but we are enjoying all of the rain. All right, guys, it is 1 o'clock. Don't forget, all links that I mentioned in the video are down below, especially if you are catching us late or if you're watching the replay. Handmade Alpha Academy opens for summer in June. I can't remember the exact date.
Somebody posted it right at the beginning. I'll just scroll up.
It's opening in
14
June.
to the 23rd.
Okay, 14th through the 23rd. Thank you. I love how they know that and I don't. And that is that's the only time it's going to be open until December. Yep. It's not going to be open again until December. So make sure that if you want to get in on the discount and all the information, you sign up for the waiting list down below. Also, there's something cool coming from Renee. I can't say what it is. Renee Christine. She was my very first business coach. Love her oodles and oodles. And she has something cool for the alphas that will be rolling out early this month. So make sure that you sign up with the lollipop link at alphasugar.com. If you want to get in on that, you will get lots and lots of free goodies from her if you sign up for that link. And then lastly, the Handmade Alpha Facebook community is also linked down below. Most of you are probably already members, but if you want to get in on some good discussions, if you want to discuss any of the topics that we've talked about today, or if you just want to link up with some alphas, and with Handmade Alpha Academy opening, if you want to talk to Handmade Alpha Academy students, you can pop in there to ask questions specific to them. I'll try not to get in and comment if you guys just want to have private discussions with students, but feel free to pop in there, ask some of our students for their experiences. And, if you're still teetering on the edge of making that decision, I want to make sure that you guys have everything that you need to make your final decision, because it is a very big decision. But when it comes to education, you should never stop. Just make sure that even if you're not learning from me, even if you don't want to take my course, learn from somebody. You need to have a mentor, whether it's me, whether it's Renee, whether it's,
Success isn't going to come free. You're going to have to do something to educate yourself at some point. Sure.
Right. And make sure that you, even if you don't have money, that you're taking that crucial time to learn through free resources, webinars, YouTube videos, library books. Library is free, guys. Make sure that you are not stopping. But if you do like me, you think I'm cool, and you like my hair, and you want me to be your personal coach, that'll be coming this
If you don't
summer.
like her hair, most of the course you don't have to look at her anyway.
That's
so
true. Just the intro videos. It's just me. Most of it's me talking with the slide, the diagrams in the background. You guys don't even have to see my hair. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend. We didn't have any last minute.
And Nate, if you want to chat afterwards, I'm gonna leave this hangout up. Just hit me up on Facebook. I'll send you a hangout link.
He's got to go get his hair cut,
I
and then he'll
figured
be
he did.
here. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, and we may or may not see you next week, because at noon next week, Renee Christine will be doing something. You won't know about it unless you sign up with the lollipop down below. She's doing something special at the time that we normally do Q&A. So we're either going to cancel Q&A or host it at a later time frame. We haven't decided which. So just stay updated in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, and we'll let you know. All right, guys. Have a great weekend.